Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
You may have forgotten about the IRS versus the Tea Party. And of course, the Justice Department did forget about that under Barack Obama. But Judicial Watch did not. They started a Freedom of Information lawsuit. And they're pursuing that lawsuit. And as the information starts to come out of Cincinnati where this is happening, today, or actually it was on Friday, but today a lot of the national press is picking up the fact that IRS executives are saying our lives are at risk in this Tea Party case. What they're saying is, if we told you what we have done to you, you would want to physically harm us. You would want to kill us. That's the headline from USA Today. Say a judge has ruled that there was strong showing that the IRS had a bias against Tea Party groups. Today, details about Tea Party bias claims against the IRS could remain secret because current and former agency officials say their lives are in danger if they publicly testify about the case. An attorney for the Tea Party group said he's not permitted to discuss the brief he filed under seal, but said the allegations against the IRS are serious and the public has a right to know what happened. Yes, we do. He says, generally, our position is that it's a matter of great public interest, and there is no legal basis for sealing the depositions or the arguments about whether the depositions should be sealed. So they even want to seal the arguments about whether or not the depositions should be sealed. This is how secretive our government has become. And again, it's how politicized they've become. It's how the bureaucracy feels that they can do anything to the rest of us. And as I said earlier, they're now coming out of the closet very defiantly as well. Defiantly saying we can use our position here in a political way to attack our political opponents and violate the law, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. He went on to say this. They said, allowing public dissemination would likely lead to media coverage that may subject both individuals to the very harms they seek a protective order to avoid. So they're saying if you tell people about it, they're going to want to kill us. And if we go back and look at November last year, as this case was starting up, we had the judge in Cincinnati ruled that there was a strong showing that the agency had discriminated against conservative groups because of their political stances. And the Kansas City-based lawyer who is working for Judicial Watch said, we are suing in part for what we think is a violation of our First Amendment right to free speech, and we feel this ruling gives us that. See, this is very similar to the Johnson Amendment and the idea that the IRS would be used as a political weapon to shut up churches that are talking about a political viewpoint, a conservative political viewpoint, because we know that churches who talk about it from a liberal standpoint, they can endorse candidates, they can have candidates speak at their churches, but don't do that if you're a conservative church. That was the implied threat. So when we look at these nonprofit organizations, the real issue there is that we would set up a system where the government could basically use the threat of shutting down your operation if you talked about politics. And in the case of the Johnson Amendment, it is both religious exercise and political speech that are being shut down. But let's take a look at what happened just about 2 months ago. We had the IRS at that point in time admitted that they had 7,000 unreleased documents relating to their persecution of Tea Party, targeting of the Tea Party. They told the court they'd recently identified about 7,000 documents that could contain information on how the agency targeted tax-exempt applications of Tea Party organizations or other conservative political groups dating back to 2010. But the IRS in a document would not commit to a timeline for releasing the documents. See, they've had this situation where they said before, the dog ate my homework, I don't have the records, I lost them, an excuse that the IRS would never accept from you, the taxpayer. And then they come out and say, well, now I found them, but I don't know when I'll ever turn them over to you. This is the politicization of this organization. And we have to understand that as the Obama administration said, we're not going to pursue this, we don't see anything to do here. And they did not fire John Koskinen, who is the IRS Commissioner, and he has still not been fired by Attorney General Sessions. And so we have a congressman saying Attorney General Sessions should review Lois Lerner's IRS targeting. He should fire John Koskinen. They should prosecute Lois Lerner. He says Attorney General Jeff Sessions should re-examine the case of former IRS Division Chief Lois Lerner, accused of targeting Tea Party groups, says Peter Roskam, chairman of the Ways and Means Tax Policy Subcommittee. He said, quote, we believe that she targeted people based on their political philosophy, which is a crime. Which is a crime. See, this is what Rand Paul was saying. He said, I've been told that I was surveilled by the national security apparatus, that they unveiled my name, that they did it to other senators as well as to the Trump people. These are crimes. This is the government apparatus being used as a banana republic would be using them. He said, secondly, we believe that she has lied to the Inspector General when that was being investigated. He said, we think it's important that the Justice Department thoroughly review it because, in our view, the Obama administration was dismissive. They just dismissed it out of hand, never took it seriously, which is a mistake. Yeah, there's one set of rules for us and a different set of rules for them.
The reason Infowars Live has 5-star ratings on major third-party sites is because I want products I'm going to use for my family. I take this, my family takes this, and then it funds the operation with the most hardcore, truthful information you're going to find anywhere. So what you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfowarsLive.com.
If I ever forget to take them, I have a noticeable difference. I don't feel good. The nascent iodine is one of the ones that was life-changing for me.
Yeah, I actually have just run out of my super female. I had a few bottles at my house, and I've been taking it again, hitting the gym once again. Very exciting, feeling great, looking good. So, and I know my hair is luxurious once again. So obviously the super female is amazing. I love it.
Nascent iodine is essential. Survival Shield X2. If there's one product that I would say is life-changing that I would suggest, it's Nascent iodine Survival Shield X2. It's got a 5-star rating.
It's a win-win. InfowarsLive.com.